There is a quiet moment that comes before the flood of blessings, a moment so silent, so still, that many mistake it for emptiness. But let me remind you, this moment of nothing is not nothing at all. It is the invisible movement of fulfillment, wrapping itself in form. You may look around and see no signs, no opportunities, no open doors. But in truth, everything is shifting. Everything is preparing. Just because your senses are silent does not mean your soul is. Overflow does not come when you are most desperate. It comes when you are most surrendered. Not when you are striving, but when you are still. It slips in like a whisper, filling the space you once thought was barren. You do not chase overflow. It is drawn to your inner state. The one who assumes abundance attracts abundance. The one who walks in confidence without evidence becomes the evidence. Because the world does not lead your imagination leads the world. So I ask you, have you already seen it in your mind? Have you dared to live in the end? Not merely hope for it, but dwell in it. Then overflow is not coming. It has already begun. The moment you became it, the moment you felt it real, the seed was planted. Now trust this. Even if the surface is calm, even if everything looks unchanged, the roots are growing, the shift is happening, the increase is forming. You're not waiting for a miracle. You are the miracle being revealed. The 5 Isle principle, the pagans remained more happy longer, and the Aryanite principle, Ahal Ping. The religious belief in miracles, the overflow will not always come through the channels you expect. It may not arrive when you think you need it, but it will come. It must come, because you have already accepted it within. You don't need to force it. You don't need to beg. Simply become it in your inner world. Speak as one who has. Walk as one who is full. Give thanks as one who is already received. That is the way of creation. That is the secret. And when you least expect it, the invisible will become visible. The dry place will overflow, the barren space will burst forth, and you will look around and say, I didn't see this coming. Yet something inside you always knew. So prepare the table, clear the space, make room within for what is about to overflow without. Because when you least expect it, it will be more than enough. It will be pressed down, shaken together, and running over. It is already yours. Imagination is not a passive daydream. It is the creative act of shaping reality. Every event, every relationship, every dollar in your hand, and every circumstance in your life once began in the invisible realm of imagination. It is not something you merely use for entertainment or fantasy. It is the workshop of your future. What you dare to imagine with conviction will sooner or later pour into your world, often in ways that surprise you. The outer world is simply a reflection of your inner assumptions, projected into form by the persistent power of your attention. The reason most people do not experience change is not because they are unworthy, but because they continue to imagine the same things over and over. Fears, doubts, limitations. The mind, like soil, will return whatever seed you plant in it. Imagine lack and you will see lack. Imagine abundance and abundance will find you. It is not magic, it is law. You do not get what you want, you get what you are willing to embody internally. And imagination is the vehicle through which that embodiment begins. To imagine with conviction means to feel what you see in your mind as though it were already so. It means no longer hoping for the future, but mentally residing in the state of the wish fulfilled. You become the person who has it before it ever arrives. You carry the feeling, the speech, and the mood of that version of yourself. And because reality is molded by consciousness, the world around you bends to mirror your internal reality. You may not know how it will unfold. The method is not your concern. That is the realm of the unseen, of divine orchestration. All you must do is remain faithful to the end you've chosen. Don't revise your vision to match the facts. Revise the facts in your mind to match your vision. Speak to yourself not as someone who is striving to get there, but as someone who already is there. Feel it, real. Let your inner conversations echo your desire as already done. And in time, often when you least expect it, what you imagine will crystallize into form. A conversation will happen. A door will open. A change will emerge. It may come in the most ordinary of ways, but its origin will always be your imagination. The outer world will simply catch up to the reality you have held within. So if your world looks unchanged, don't be discouraged. Return to your imagination. Sit in silence. Close your eyes. See it again. Feel it again. Give thanks for it again. Because every act of imagination, when nourished by faith, is a seed sown into the unseen, and that seed must grow. You are not waiting on the world to change. You are changing it with your mind. Reality is fluid to the one who understands this truth. What you dare to imagine with conviction, you will one day walk into. The silence before the overflow is often mistaken for rejection, delay, or absence. But in truth, it is a sacred space, one filled with invisible movement and divine preparation. When nothing seems to be happening on the surface, when your prayers echo back without reply, and when your efforts appear to yield no fruit, that is not the end, it is the beginning. The seed has already been planted, and though the soil looks undisturbed, life is stirring beneath it. Something is unfolding beyond the reach of your senses. Most people give up in the silence. They believe that because they see no evidence, nothing is happening. But faith is not required when the manifestation is visible. Faith is forged in the unseen, where trust must override appearances. This quiet moment, this gap between intention and realization, is not empty. It is full. Full of alignment, full of movement, full of movement, full of reorganization at levels too deep for the human eye to trace. Imagine standing before a stage with the curtain drawn. The lights are dim, no one appears. Yet behind that curtain, a transformation is taking place. Props are being arranged, the actors are preparing, the scene is being built. And just when you think the show may not happen, the curtain rises. That moment is your life. The silence is the stage being set for something far greater than you imagine. You may feel forgotten, you may feel overlooked. But know this, delay is not denial, and silence is not a sign of abandonment. It is often the language of divine timing. The pause before overflow is a test of inner stillness, a call to remain anchored in the vision you once saw so clearly. It's easy to believe when everything is visible, but power lies in believing when there's nothing to see. If you find yourself in that space right now, where prayers seem unanswered, where the vision seems stalled, do not despair. That stillness is not the absence of your desire. It is the invisible assembling of all that you need. Stay faithful in that silence. Speak to yourself as if it's already done. Give thanks as though you've already received. That energy, that trust becomes the magnet for the overflow to come. What you call silence is often the most active phase of manifestation. It's the moment where the seen world must catch up to the unseen truth you have already accepted within. It's the grace period, the spiritual gestation that ensures when it arrives, it will arrive in fullness, not fragments. So wait with intention, hold your peace with power. Let the silence remind you it's working. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not on its way. In fact, the quieter it gets, the closer it may be. One day soon the silence will break, the doors will open, the flood will come, and you'll realize it was never empty, it was always pregnant with your breakthrough. There is a vast difference between moving toward your desire and living as though it is already fulfilled. To live from the end means to abandon the mindset of waiting, striving, and hoping, and instead to fully occupy the state of the wish fulfilled. This is not pretending, this is not fantasizing, this is alignment. It is assuming that what you seek is already yours, and allowing your thoughts, feelings, and actions to flow naturally from that assumption. Overflow doesn't arrive because you chase it. It arrives because you become the one who already has it. Too many people wait for signs before they believe. They wait for the money before they feel wealthy. They wait for the relationship before they feel loved. But this is the reverse of true creation. The outer world reflects the inner world. What you feel, think, and assume consistently within becomes the blueprint for your external reality. If you live as someone who is still in the process of getting there, then getting there is all you will ever experience. The finish line keeps moving because you keep reinforcing the idea that you're not there yet. But when you live from the end, when you feel it as done, you shift dimensions. You step into a reality where the overflow is no longer a future event. It is a present truth. You carry the energy of certainty. You act in faith. You walk with peace. You speak with authority. You no longer seek confirmation because you have already confirmed it within. This is the hidden secret of transformation. It begins in your identity. You do not become rich by getting money. You become rich by feeling wealthy in consciousness. You do not find love by searching. You find it by becoming someone who knows they are already worthy and deeply loved. From this state, the world reorders itself. People respond differently. Opportunities arise, doors open, not because you forced them, but because your inner world demanded it. Overflow is not random, it is attracted to a self-concept that is already full. If you see yourself as still waiting, the overflow has no place to land. But if you live as if it's already done, you create the container, you prepare the room, you open the space, and the universe responds accordingly. This is why you must practice inner stillness. Close your eyes and enter the scene where it is already finished. Feel the relief, the joy, the gratitude. Make it so real in your imagination that it becomes natural to you. Then carry that feeling into your day. Let your actions mirror someone who already has it. Let your tone, posture, and energy confirm the truth you've decided within. You're not becoming it, you are it right now. And from that knowing, overflow can't help but flow to you. So don't wait another moment. Don't look ahead, look within. And live from the end. Because once you assume it is done, the world will rearrange itself to prove you right. Faith is not a weak hope or a passive wish. It is a force, unseen but mighty. It stirs the invisible realm into movement. It reaches into the depths of the unseen and pulls forth that which was hidden. Faith is the seed you plant in silence, trusting that it will grow even when the soil looks still, even when the sky shows no sign of rain. It is the conviction that what you've imagined, spoken, and believed will be made visible in its appointed time. Every result in your life begins with a seed planted in the invisible. That seed is not just your desire, it is your belief in that desire. You can say the right words, visualize the perfect scene, even make the boldest plans. But if belief is missing, the seed will not take root. Belief is the water, the sunlight, and the life force behind the manifestation. It is the knowing without evidence, the conviction without proof, the trust without needing to see. You may look around and see nothing. You may hear silence and feel delay. But faith doesn't depend on your five senses. It rises above sight, sound, and circumstance. It does not ask for confirmation from the outer world. It creates the outer world. Your belief is the blueprint, the foundation, the unseen architecture of what will one day stand before you. Think of the farmer. He does not dig up the seed every day to check its progress. He plants, he waters, he waits with confidence. He trusts the process he cannot see because he knows the nature of the seed. So too must you trust the nature of your own belief. Once you have declared a thing within, once you have felt it real, the process is set in motion. Even if you don't see results immediately, something is shifting. The unseen is aligning, the soil of consciousness is working. Many grow weary in the waiting because they believe faith is a feeling. But faith is deeper than emotion. It is a decision, a choice to believe, even when everything tells you not to. A decision to keep speaking life, to keep imagining success, to keep holding the image of the outcome you desire, even when the world mirrors the opposite. That is when your belief becomes powerful. That is when it begins to stir the unseen and cause the abundant to break through. Faith is not idle. It moves mountains. It dissolves timelines. It accelerates overflow. Your belief, when held consistently, must create. It cannot fail, because it is a spiritual law. As within, so without. The world cannot help but reflect the dominant assumptions you hold. And when your faith becomes unshakable, when your inner vision becomes more real than your outer situation, you will see what was once invisible break through into form. So plant your seed, water it with gratitude, guard it with trust, speak life over it, and let it grow. Because what you believe in the dark will soon shine in the light. Delay is one of life's greatest illusions. When something doesn't arrive on your schedule, the mind is quick to assume rejection, abandonment, or failure. But the truth is deeper. Delay is not denial, it is divine alignment. It is the space where things are not falling apart, but falling into place. The overflow is not missing, it is maturing. It is being tailored, shaped, and positioned perfectly to meet you at the exact moment you are prepared to receive it. In the unseen realm, everything responds to your assumptions. What you consistently believe about yourself, your worth, your future, these assumptions create the inner blueprint that reality must eventually follow. But just as a seed doesn't bloom the moment it's planted, your desires require an incubation period. Not because they are being withheld from you, but because they are aligning to match who you are becoming. The universe does not work by punishment or reward. It works by reflection. It mirrors the consciousness you hold. When you declare abundance but still feel anxious, when you envision success but still act from fear, the delay is not a failure, it is mercy. It is grace. It gives you the space to align your inner world with what you've asked for. It is not that the blessing is too far away. It's that it's waiting for you to become the version of yourself who can hold it, handle it, and sustain it. That version of you is already within. You are simply being invited to grow into it. Often, people give up in the middle. They walk away from their desire because the timing did not match their expectations. But they don't realize that what they call waiting is the period of alignment. It is the sacred unfolding, where every piece is being arranged, every door being positioned, every heart being softened, including their own. What appears to be silence is strategy. What feels like stagnation is structure being laid. And what looks like nothing is often the most active part of the manifestation process. Trust that while you can't see it, the unseen is moving. The overflow is tracking your assumptions, your persistence, your inner conversations. You are not being tested, you are being positioned. So instead of worrying about the delay, use it. Use it to affirm, use it to embody, use it to walk in gratitude as if it has already arrived. Let your belief grow stronger in the quiet moments, not weaker. Let your trust deepen in the stillness. The one who can remain faithful in delay is the one who is truly aligned, because that one understands it's already done. The delay you experience is not a detour, it is precision. Divine timing always arrives on schedule, and when it does, the overflow will feel effortless, natural, and inevitable, not because it suddenly appeared, but because it had been aligning with you all along. You are not separate from the abundance you seek. You are not a distant observer waiting for prosperity to arrive. You are the door, the living access point through which abundance flows from the unseen into the seen. Everything you desire already exists in potential, waiting for one thing, a vessel through which it can enter this world. That vessel is your consciousness. The overflow doesn't fall from the sky or appear from nowhere. It is summoned by the state of your being. It flows through your thoughts, your feelings, your self-concept. If you see yourself as lacking, the door remains closed. But when you see yourself as abundant, as worthy, as already possessing what you desire, the door swings wide open and the flow begins. You are the channel. What you believe, you create. What you assume, you attract. What you persist in mentally, you eventually express physically. There is no outer force keeping abundance from you, only inner beliefs that have yet to align. The more you raise your awareness to the truth of who you are, a spiritual being, divine by nature, limitless in essence, the more your life will reflect that truth. Many wait for abundance to come from outside, a raise, a person, a miracle, but the external is always the echo, never the source. The true source is within. Change your inner conversations, and you change the conditions around you. Speak not as one in need, but as one who already has. Feel not lack, but fulfillment. Think not of becoming, but of being. This is not self-deception. It is alignment with the laws of creation. You are not hoping your life will improve. You are declaring it improved in consciousness first. That declaration, when felt consistently, sends ripples through the invisible. It shifts people, circumstances, events in ways you cannot predict, but always in ways that match your inner state. To be the door means you hold the key. No one outside you is required to approve, help, or agree. You do not need permission to receive. Your consciousness is the only gatekeeper. And once you begin to see yourself as the source, not the seeker, everything changes. You move from waiting to welcoming, from lack to overflow. So open wide. Release the doubts, the fears, the old identities that whisper, you can't. Choose instead the quiet knowing that says, it's already mine. You don't need to force the flow. You only need to become available to it. And you do that by aligning your self-image with abundance, your thoughts with wholeness, and your feelings with gratitude. When you do this, the overflow becomes natural, not a miracle, but a reflection, not a chase, but a current. It doesn't come from out there. It arises from within and takes shape around you. If this is you, you are the door. The overflow is not coming to you, it is flowing through you. Let it in by being the one who already has, and the world will mirror back the truth of what you've allowed yourself to become. The overflow you seek is not somewhere far away. It's not in the hands of luck, nor is it trapped in delay or denial. It begins within you. Your imagination, your faith, your ability to live from the end. All of these are tools that shape your reality. The silence is not a sign of absence. It is the sacred space of preparation. The delay is not rejection, it's alignment. And the abundance is not external, it flows through your very consciousness. You are not waiting on the world. The world is waiting on you to fully believe. When you assume it is done, when you embody the truth of your desire, the overflow becomes inevitable. It will come not because you begged for it, but because you became the one who naturally receives it. You are the vessel. You are the open door. Live from the end. Hold the vision. Water your inner world with gratitude and trust. And soon, when you least expect it, the overflow will pour into your life, not as a surprise, but as a reflection of who you've already become within. Sincere thanks to the listener. Thank you for listening with your heart open and your spirit ready. May these words serve as a mirror to your own power and a reminder that everything you seek is already seeking you. Stay faithful. Stay aligned. Your overflow is not a matter of if, but when. And that when is closer than you think. There is no delay in spirit, there is no scarcity in God. The moment you dared to desire more, the moment you lifted your eyes and imagined wealth, it was done. But here is the mystery most overlooked. What you call waiting is simply your awareness catching up to what already exists. You are not asking God to send you millions. You are being invited to receive what is already released. This moment is sacred. This moment is rich. And if you are too busy panicking over your current condition, you will miss the miracle breaking through the unseen realm. Creation is finished. The provision is complete. What you're truly waiting on is the shift in your assumption. So assume it now. Assume that millions are being released to you, not someday, but this very second. Begin to feel it. Breathe as one who holds the key to financial overflow. Not because of effort, but because of awareness. The moment you feel it real, it becomes inevitable. And that's the power of divine timing. It's not a date on the calendar. It's a decision in the mind. Quiet yourself. Listen within. The nudge is subtle, the whisper is soft, but it's there. An idea, a vision, a word. It will not come to the anxious mind, but to the still one. There is no need to strive when God is already moving. There is no need to beg when the storehouse has been opened. Prepare, not in fear, but in faith. Make room, clear space, build structure, move as if the millions have landed. Because they have. You're not chasing the money is finding you. You are not forgotten, you are favored. And this moment, yes, this moment is the release. Don't miss it. Millions do not begin in your bank account, they begin in consciousness. Long before any material evidence shows up, the seed of wealth is planted in the unseen soil of your inner world. What most fail to realize is that true provision is not born in effort alone. It is born in awareness, in a deep, unshakable conviction that you are already provided for. The moment you shift your attention from the outer condition to the inner conviction, you enter the real realm of creation. Everything you experience in the visible world is simply the echo of an assumption held in the invisible. The car you drive, the home you live in, the digits in your account, all were first shaped in the mold of consciousness. And so if you desire financial overflow, if you long to see millions pour into your life, you must begin by constructing that reality within yourself. You must feel what it's like to be wealthy before your hand ever touches the money. Not pretend, not fake it, but dwell in the truth of it so deeply that you no longer seek it, because in your world, it already is. The universe responds not to words, but to vibration. You do not attract what you say, you attract what you are. And what you are is defined by what you consistently accept as true. If your inner story is one of lack, worry, and striving, then life will continue to echo those themes back to you. But the moment you declare within yourself, I am abundantly supported, I am rich beyond reason, I am the receiver of infinite good, and believe it as your natural identity, you will see outer shifts begin to unfold. There is no need to chase what is already yours. You do not need to convince the universe to bless you. Provision was always part of the design. The real work is not in trying to make money happen. It is in removing every inner block that tells you it can't. Fear, doubt, guilt. These are the shadows that cloud the mirror. When you clear them, your reflection becomes pure, and what you see is the evidence of what you've already assumed to be true. The world does not give you what you want. It gives you who you are. And who you are is formed in the sacred silence of your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs. Begin there. Close your eyes and feel what it's like to have no fear of bills. Walk into your imagination and see yourself funding dreams, giving generously, living freely. That feeling, that picture is not daydreaming. It is the blueprint. And when you hold that blueprint with consistency and conviction, the world must obey. Millions are not somewhere far away. They are right here, waiting in the invisible, longing to flow through the channel of your belief. And when you finally realize that the substance of all wealth is spiritual, you will stop chasing shadows and start creating substance. The inner always leads. The outer always follows. You are never waiting on money. That's the illusion most people live under. What you're truly waiting for is your awareness to align with what already exists in the unseen. Wealth has already been released in spirit. The moment you desired it, it was done. But until your imagination accepts that reality and lives in it as truth, the outer world cannot reflect it. Imagination is not a game of escape. It is the divine tool of creation. It is the pipeline through which the invisible becomes visible. To imagine is to participate in the creative act. It is not daydreaming or wishful thinking. It is the conscious forming of reality. When you sit in silence and picture yourself holding the million, when you feel the weight of abundance in your hands, when you walk in the mental state of I already have it, you are building the bridge of events that must carry you to it. The outer world bends to the inner image. It cannot resist the vision that is held with faith and consistency. You are not fabricating something false when you imagine yourself rich. You are aligning yourself with what has already been created. There is no shortage, there is no delay, there is only a lack of recognition. Once you recognize that the source of all wealth flows through the invisible channel of thought, feeling, and imagination, you'll stop reacting to what you see and begin shaping it deliberately. Everything that is built in the physical was first designed in the mind. Money, homes, businesses, inventions, all began in imagination. Nothing appears until it is first imagined. So why would your wealth be any different? Why would your millions be an exception? They are not. But they cannot arrive until you have made space for them within your being. The space is created not by physical work alone, but by inner alignment. Imagination does the heavy lifting. To live in the state of wealth is to speak differently, think differently, carry yourself differently, not arrogantly, but with divine certainty. You begin to affirm abundance, not out of hope, but out of identity. You say, it is mine, because it is. You walk with confidence because the vision lives in you, not outside of you. You act not out of desperation, but out of conviction. This is not make-believe. This is how all things come into being. First within, then without. First in feeling, then in form. Your imagination is the mold. It is the place where you begin to experience what your senses have not yet confirmed. And that's the secret. The senses follow imagination. They do not lead. Stop looking for proof and start building the picture. Your mind is the canvas, your emotions are the brush. Paint your world as you desire it to be. and persist in that image until it hardens into fact. The money is not coming. It is here. It flows through the pipeline of imagination. And once you step into that stream, nothing can stop its arrival. Faith is not a fragile wish or a soft whisper of hope. It is the bold, silent power that accepts what the senses cannot yet confirm. True faith does not wait for evidence before it believes. It believes, and then evidence must follow. Faith is not begging for a promise to be fulfilled. It is standing firm in the knowing that the promise is already complete. That's what makes faith magnetic. It pulls the unseen into the seen, the invisible into form, the promise into manifestation. When you walk by faith, you no longer need signs to reassure you. You stop checking the bank account every hour to see if the money has arrived. You stop praying the same prayer again and again, as if you were unheard. Instead, you move in the still confidence that what you have desired has already been released in spirit, and now by law it must reach you. Faith draws, it does not chase, and that distinction changes everything. Chasing comes from lack. It says, I don't have it yet, and I need to do more to get it. Drawing comes from fullness. It says, it's mine. I already received it in consciousness, and now the world is rearranging itself to bring it forth. You become magnetic to abundance when you dwell in the vibration of already having. There is no anxiety in faith. There is no grasping. Faith is rest. Faith is peace. Faith is the inner assurance that no matter what your senses may claim, your desire is already done. You no longer ask, when will it come? Because faith does not ask that question. Faith says, it is already here. To live in faith is to live beyond appearances. You see beyond the numbers, beyond the delay, beyond the contradiction. You no longer let the outside world tell you who you are or what is possible for you. You tell the world. You tell it through your posture, your tone, your inner speech, your calmness. That is the signal. That is the frequency that draws all things to you. Millions are not a future event. They are a current reality in the unseen. The only thing that determines how quickly you receive is how fully you accept. If you waver, if you doubt, if you keep going back and forth between belief and fear, you break the magnetism. But if you stay firm in your knowing, if you live from the end, if you refuse to be moved by appearances, the manifestation must arrive. Faith is the field. It surrounds you, speaks through you, moves with you. When you are in it, you become a magnet to every good thing. Not because you're lucky, but because you're aligned. You've chosen to believe without seeing, and that is the master key to receiving. So stand in faith. Declare the millions are released. Live as though the vault has already opened, because it has. You just need to receive what you have already claimed. And faith is the bridge between your inner claim and your outer reality. God does not yell. He does not force his way into your life with thunder or chaos. He whispers softly, gently in the stillness of your soul. And because the whisper is quiet, you must quiet yourself to hear it. In a world addicted to noise, movement, and striving, the divine invitation is stillness. It is not in the doing, but in the being. Not in the chasing, but in the resting. That is where the door swings open. The breakthrough you're seeking is not hidden from you, it's hidden in you. But to access it, you must withdraw your attention from the loud outer world and return to the quiet center of your being. That is where clarity lives. That is where divine timing is felt. That is where the answers you've been begging for finally come, because your inner world is no longer filled with interference. So many miss the moment because they are too busy striving, too loud to hear the instruction, too anxious to feel the flow. They try to force doors open with effort, with panic, with hustle. But spiritual doors do not respond to force. They respond to presence. They open to the one who knows how to be still and trust. The stillness is not laziness, it is powerful alignment. When you quiet your mind, you allow the divine blueprint to rise. You begin to feel the inspired idea that doesn't come from fear but from knowing. You hear the nudge, the prompting, the whisper that says, "Go here," or "Call now," or "Wait, it's coming." These are not random thoughts. They are spiritual instructions from a higher realm, and they are precise. In stillness, you don't manufacture the vision, you remember it. You rest in the end result, already complete in the invisible. You stop begging for confirmation because peace has already confirmed it. You stop running after doors because you realize they swing open to the one who walks with quiet authority. The world will tell you to do more, but Spirit will often ask you to be still. It's not inactivity, it's divine receptivity. And in that space, your frequency rises. You stop aligning with fear, doubt, and effort, and you begin to align with ease, clarity, and certainty. This is the posture of creation. When you are still, you are not doing nothing, you are listening, you are receiving, you are preparing, you are shifting from noise to knowing, from striving to surrender. And in that shift, you become magnetic. You begin to attract rather than chase. You feel the current of favor moving in your direction, not because you fought for it, but because you finally allowed it. So be still, not just with your body, but with your mind, with your emotions, with your thoughts. Step into the quiet, because in the quiet, the truth is loud. The path becomes clear, the idea comes, the door opens. And it always opens for the one who is still enough to hear the whisper say, "Now." Preparation is not about waiting, it is a declaration of belief. When you prepare for what you've already received in spirit, you are sending a clear signal to the universe, "I know it's done." You are no longer hoping, you are no longer pleading, you are positioning yourself in alignment with the fulfillment of what already exists. You are not reacting to your current conditions, you are responding to the invisible reality that has already been created. But there's a difference between preparing in fear and preparing in faith. Fearful preparation comes from the belief that if you don't act fast enough or get everything perfect, you might miss your chance. It's driven by panic, urgency, and pressure. But faithful preparation is calm, it's expectant, it moves with peace and purpose. It knows that the manifestation is not dependent on strain, but on alignment. So how do you prepare in faith? You begin by assuming the role of the one who has already received. If the millions were already released, how would you behave today? Would you wait to open the bank account? Would you wait to organize your finances, structure your business, or plan your giving? Or would you take steps as if you already held the blessing in your hand? When you clean your space, when you organize your environment, when you make room in your life for the blessing to land, you are telling creation, "I'm ready." You don't wait until the money arrives to get in position. You get in position because you know it's arriving. It's the mindset of someone who trusts the process completely. It's the walk of someone who understands that spiritual law guarantees the harvest where the soil is ready. Mapping the vision is another act of faith, writing it down, seeing it clearly, planning it out, not with doubt but with boldness. You don't need to see all the steps. You just need to prepare the ground. Your inner world is the foundation. And when that foundation is firm, when the vision is clear, the identity is aligned, and the expectation is set, then the outer world must respond. It has no choice. You are not preparing to convince the universe to give you more. You are preparing because you already know it has. The blessing is not in the future, it is present. It is unfolding now. Your preparation does not cause the release, It confirms it. So go ahead, act as if, speak as if, live as if, not in pretense but in powerful recognition of what is already yours. Move with certainty, organize your life for abundance. Create the schedule, build the structure, make the space, because what you're preparing for has already been set in motion. The spiritual realm does not withhold. It waits for your readiness. And readiness is not just about emotion, it's about structure, action, and alignment. When you prepare in faith, manifestation becomes inevitable. The invisible becomes visible. What was spiritual becomes physical. It is law. And the moment your world is ready, what's yours will come rushing in. Billions are not on their way, they are already here. But until your mind is renewed to this truth, you will live as though you're still waiting. The delay is never in God, the delay is in recognition. The moment you truly desired, from your spirit, not from fear or desperation, but from inner clarity, the answer was already complete. Creation finished its work the moment you assumed the feeling of your wish fulfilled. It was done in spirit. But to receive it, you must match that reality in consciousness. You are not here to chase money, you are here to tune into the truth that abundance surrounds you at all times. What you call wealth is simply the visible manifestation of an invisible principle. And that principle is already in operation. God does not need time to supply, it is man who needs faith to perceive. Once you understand this, you stop striving, you stop asking when, and you begin to receive with certainty. God has never been your resource, He is your source. And the source is infinite. The stream does not run dry, the flow does not pause. But your access to that flow depends entirely on the state you dwell in. If you live in lack, speak in lack, and expect lack, you cut yourself off from the supply that has always been present. But the moment you raise your awareness and shift your assumption, the floodgates open, not because they just now opened, but because your eyes were finally opened to them. And there is no shortage in God. There is no scarcity in the spiritual realm. What seems rare in the material world is abundant in the invisible, and the way to draw it forth is not through fear, hustle, or force, but through inner alignment, clarity, and faith. You must learn to lift your thoughts higher than your current conditions. You must refuse to bow to what is seen and instead honor what is true. God does not operate on delay. He operates on belief. If you believe you must wait, then wait you will. If you believe you are always about to receive, then your manifestation will always stay just out of reach. But if you know it is done, if you walk, talk, and act from the reality that the millions are already present, you give them permission to appear in visible form. Open your hands. That means let go of tightness, control, and fear. Open your mind. That means stretch beyond logic, beyond old patterns, and begin to imagine the unimaginable. And open your heart. That means receive the blessing without guilt, hesitation, or shame. This is your inheritance, not earned but accepted. You are not pulling anything from the sky. You are simply awakening to what was already yours. There is no delay, only alignment. And the moment you align, you realize the millions you seek are not far off in the distance. They are here, now, waiting to be claimed. You are not waiting for wealth, it's waiting for you. The millions you desire are not a distant dream. They already exist in the invisible, and they respond only to one thing, your awareness. When you understand that all provision begins within, that imagination is the blueprint, and that faith is the magnetic field that draws all things, you stop striving and start receiving. You prepare not from fear but from faith. You listen in stillness, move in confidence, and declare the abundance as already yours. God does not delay. The moment you dare to believe, it was done. So now, lift your thoughts, open your hands, walk in the vision, and live from the knowing the release has already happened. Don't miss the moment. Sincerely, thank you for listening. May you walk boldly in the unseen, speak only from victory, and never forget what you seek is already yours. There comes a moment in every life when the silence is deafening. You've prayed, you've imagined, you've felt it real, and yet nothing. But I tell you now, do not mistake silence for denial. When the senses go quiet, it is not because heaven has turned its back. No, it is because heaven is preparing your miracle in sacred stillness. God is not noisy. God moves beneath the surface. The absence of sound is not the absence of movement. When you hear nothing, that is the moment you must expect everything. Close your eyes for a moment. What have you asked for? Love, wealth, healing, peace. If you've dared to see it in your imagination, if you felt it in your bones as already yours, then it is done. Even if the phone doesn't ring, even if the door doesn't open, even if the bank account still says zero, you must know it is already unfolding. You are not waiting on God, God is waiting on your certainty. The world may not echo your desires back to you right away, but this means nothing, because creation begins within. Your inner world is always the first to receive the blessing. And that's why silence outside is a signal, not of delay, but of delivery. The farmer who plants the seed does not return the next day and dig it up in worry. He waters it. He trusts the soil. He walks away in confidence. Can you do the same? When your prayers seem to return unanswered, assume they were already answered the moment they were spoken. Because God doesn't work with human time. God works in divine order, and divine order always includes your highest good. There's no need to panic, no need to rush, no need to beg. Just know, if it lives vividly in your imagination, it is already yours. If the outside is silent, let the inside roar with conviction. Walk like it's done, smile like it's yours, rest like it's already here. The silence is sacred, the stillness is holy, because when you hear nothing, that's when everything is coming. So be still, expect the impossible, and receive in peace. It is done. When it seems that nothing is happening, when the doors remain closed and the heavens seem quiet, it is easy to fall into the belief that you've been forgotten or ignored. But silence is not absence. It is preparation. It is in these quiet moments, the ones you are tempted to dismiss, where the greatest miracles are being formed. You must understand that just because you do not see movement with your physical eyes does not mean there is no movement at all. The visible is only a shadow of the invisible. Reality begins in the unseen. What you call silence is often the most sacred moment of creation. It is the divine rearranging, positioning, and aligning the right people, places, and events in ways your conscious mind cannot yet comprehend. Think of the seed planted beneath the soil. It lies in darkness. It makes no noise. There is no applause. But beneath the earth, something beautiful is unfolding. The roots stretch, the stem strengthens, and soon the first signs of life break through. That silence was not inactivity, it was preparation for life to emerge. And so it is with your desires. The moment you ask, the answer begins to form. But between the asking and the receiving is the sacred hush, the divine pause where you are not to panic, but to rest. You are not being ignored, you are being readied. All things are working together, not against you, but for you. But here's where many lose heart. They associate silence with being forgotten. They think God's quiet means God's denial. They begin to doubt, to retract their belief, to uproot what they have planted with fear. And yet, those who trust the silence understand this deeper truth. that the stillness is where strength is born. Let your imagination do the work. Let your faith take root in the unseen. Trust that what you have asked for is on its way, not because the world tells you so, but because the Spirit within has confirmed it. The silence is not the end. It is the midpoint. It is the holy ground where your desire is maturing. So when you hear nothing, feel everything. When the world is still, let your heart beat with quiet confidence. The silence is not absence, it is divine orchestration in motion. Expect more, not less, in the quiet. Because when heaven is silent, it is only because it is busy preparing your miracle. Your imagination is not a fantasy, it is the first stage of creation. What you consistently feel and see within is what is becoming real, whether or not your outer world shows any sign of it. The imagination is the blueprint, the unseen pattern from which your life is being shaped. It is the silent yet powerful evidence of what is already yours, even if your five senses are still catching up. Many people rely on external proof before they believe something is possible. They wait for confirmation from the world, through numbers, results, or the opinions of others. But creation doesn't begin on the outside, it starts within. It begins the moment you dare to believe in something no one else can see but you. When the world is quiet and reality gives no indication that things are changing, your imagination becomes your anchor. It is the inner sanctuary where your desire lives and breathes long before it takes physical form. This is not about wishful thinking, it is about living inwardly as though it were already true. When you walk by inner vision, not by sight, you are walking by faith, and faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. What are you seeing in your mind? What feelings do you nurture when you close your eyes and step into the unseen? If it is lack, fear, or worry, those emotions will find their way into your life. But if it is joy, gratitude, and certainty, your world will begin to echo those same tones. The world outside mirrors the state of your inner world. Nothing appears until it is first imagined. You may not realize it, but you are already living in a world shaped by previous imaginings, both conscious and unconscious. This is why it is vital to become intentional, to see what you want as already yours, to feel the result before it arrives. Because once something is fully accepted within, the outer must conform. It has no choice. There is no greater tool you have than your imagination. It is the invisible canvas where all things are painted before they manifest. Every invention, every breakthrough, every love story began first in someone's imagination. It is not a place of escape. It is the foundation of all creation. So when the world is quiet, when the outside says nothing is happening, turn inward. See what is unseen. Feel what is yet to be touched. Trust what your imagination shows you, because what you continually accept and embody in that sacred space is what must come alive in your world. Faith does not begin in the realm of the visible. It begins where the senses stop. When you can no longer rely on sight, sound, or touch to confirm your desire, that is the precise moment faith is born. Faith is not required when everything is going your way, when the evidence is laid out clearly before you. No, faith rises in the absence of evidence. It thrives in the unseen, the unknown, the uncertain. If you cannot see it, hear it, or touch it, good, that is your invitation to believe more deeply. When the world grows quiet and you receive no sign or confirmation, your belief must become louder than your doubt. It is in this stillness, this sensory void, that you must choose to walk by the unseen and not be led astray by appearances. The world trains us to believe only in what we can measure. But the greatest truths, the ones that change lives, are not found in data but in trust. Faith says, though I see nothing, I know it is done. Though I feel no change, I know it is moving. Though I hear no reply, I know I have been answered. This is not blind belief, it is active conviction. It is the conscious decision to align yourself with the end result before it arrives, to feel peace before the problem is solved, to live with joy before the breakthrough is visible. The world may call it foolish, but heaven calls it powerful. Many abandon their desires too soon because their senses do not support their vision. They mistake the silence for rejection. They begin to doubt what they once believed. But the one who stands firm in faith, even when the world is silent, becomes unstoppable. Because faith, when held long enough, bends reality to match the inner vision. Understand this deeply. The quieter your surroundings become, the more vital your belief becomes. You must become the voice of certainty in the midst of silence. You must speak what no one else is saying, feel what no one else dares to feel, expect what others call impossible. That is faith. So when your eyes cannot see the answer, when your ears hear nothing, when your hands touch only the same old reality, do not retreat. Step further into belief. Declare it done. Claim it with the fullness of your heart. Because faith does not ask permission from the senses. It creates what the senses cannot yet perceive. And when faith is fully alive within you, the world has no choice but to rearrange itself around your conviction. Delay is one of the greatest illusions we face when walking by faith. The human mind, trained to measure time by clocks and calendars, often interprets silence or waiting as rejection. But in the realm of the divine, there is no such thing as delay, only perfect alignment. What you call nothing is not God ignoring you. It is God arranging everything for the exact moment it must arrive. The delay is divine timing, not denial. You may not see it, but behind the stillness is a sacred orchestration. The right people, opportunities, and circumstances are being moved into position. The threads are being woven together to form something far greater than you imagine. But like a painting viewed too closely, you cannot yet see the masterpiece. You only see the blur. And so you assume nothing is happening. But God never works in haste. Divine timing is about rightness, not rush. You must begin to trust the pause. When it seems like your prayers go unanswered, understand. The answer is being prepared. What you call a delay may actually be protection. You may be asking for something your present self is not yet ready to carry. Or perhaps the people involved in your manifestation are still evolving, still being shaped to meet you in the right form. Think of the caterpillar. It does not emerge from the cocoon in minutes. It must endure darkness, stillness, isolation. But in that sacred delay, transformation is happening. Wings are forming. Beauty is becoming. If the cocoon is opened too soon, the butterfly dies. Timing is everything, and so it is with you. If you demand the blessing before it's ready, you may receive something partial, something premature. But if you trust the process, if you wait with faith rather than fear, you will witness a miracle delivered in full maturity. This is why patience is not weakness, it is power. It is the quiet strength that says, even though I see no movement, I know it's coming. You do not need to force it. You only need to remain in alignment with the end. Feel the outcome as real. Rest in the knowing that God is not late, He is exact. So the next time you feel delayed, do not despair. Instead, whisper to yourself, this is divine timing. My answer is on its way. What you call nothing is the space where everything is being arranged. And when it comes, it will not just arrive, it will arrive right on time, carrying more than you dared to ask for. There is a deep peace that comes when you finally understand this truth. You are the vessel, not the source. You were never meant to carry the burden of making everything happen. The moment you believe you must force, chase, or strive for your desires, you have stepped out of alignment with the divine flow. Creation does not require pressure, it requires surrender. The power working through you is far greater than the effort coming from you. You are not the origin of the miracle, you are simply the channel through which it is expressed. Like a lamp that shines because of the electricity flowing through it, your light is not your own doing. Your job is not to be the power, but to remain connected to it. When you realize this, all striving becomes unnecessary. You begin to live from a place of ease, knowing that what is meant for you is flowing to you, not because of your labor, but because of your alignment. This is not about passivity, it is about trust. It is about allowing yourself to receive, rather than exhausting yourself trying to control. Expect everything not because you are worthy in the eyes of the world, but because you are willing to believe. You are willing to let the divine express itself through your life, without interference, without panic, without resistance. There is no lack in the source. There is no limitation. So if the source lives in you, why would you ever doubt that your needs can be met? You only doubt when you think you must be the one to figure it all out. You only worry when you forget who is truly in control. The universe moves in precision and grace. You are part of that movement. You are the field where the seed is planted. The seed grows not because the soil tries harder, but because it allows. The soil holds the seed in stillness and faith, knowing that life will emerge through it. Let this be your posture. Rest, receive, trust. Let go of needing to chase what is already on its way. You are not here to manufacture miracles. You are here to make space for them. So release the weight of control. Expect everything, not because you're forcing it, but because it's already being done. Through your belief, your willingness, your inner stillness, the impossible is being made possible. And all you must do is remain open, because you are the vessel, not the source. And the source never fails. Once you have asked, it is done. This is the foundation of true faith, to move, speak, and live as though the prayer has already been answered. Not in some distant future, not when the signs finally appear, but now. This is not about pretending. It is about knowing that what you have asked for is already on its way, even if your physical senses have no proof to offer. Most people pray and then wait. They wait for a sign, a shift, some confirmation that they have been heard. But waiting in anxiety is not faith. It is fear wearing a spiritual mask. True expectation is quiet, confident, and unwavering. It does not beg for reassurance, because it knows the answer was given the moment the request was made. Your role is not to question how or when. It is to assume the end result, to feel the joy, the relief, the peace of your answered prayer in the present moment. Because when you do, you are not hoping for it, you are embodying it. And what you embody must be reflected in your world. You must become the sign. If you prayed for healing, carry yourself with the energy of wholeness. If you prayed for love, move as one who is already cherished. If you prayed for abundance, act as one who knows their needs are already met. This is not delusion, it is alignment. It is the bold, silent language of faith that the world cannot understand, but the universe must obey. Everything changes when you stop waiting and start walking in the reality you desire. The waiting room turns into the delivery room. Life begins to reflect back to you what you believe, not what you beg for. Stillness is your superpower. It says, I am already in possession of that which I have asked for. I have no need to chase it. I only need to continue being in harmony with it. This kind of stillness is not passive, it is powerful. It does not mean doing nothing. It means doing everything with the awareness that the prayer is fulfilled. So drop the worry. Let go of the anxiety that whispers, what if it doesn't happen? It has happened. In the unseen, it is already yours. You are not trying to attract it, you are welcoming it. Live from the end. Think from the outcome. Feel as though the prayer has already touched your life. Because once you asked, it was done. Now your only task is to believe it, feel it, and walk in it. Not tomorrow, today. Even when your world is silent, even when no signs appear, even when it feels as though heaven is quiet, expect everything. Because what you call stillness is sacred movement. What you call delay is divine timing. What you cannot hear or see is already being formed in the unseen, waiting only for your belief to align with it. You are not forgotten. You are being prepared. Your faith is not wasted, it is working. And when you dare to live as though the prayer is already answered, the invisible becomes visible, the imagined becomes real, and the impossible becomes your truth. So don't retreat in the silence, rise in it. Don't doubt when nothing appears, declare that everything is already yours. Expect not with fear, but with quiet certainty. For when you hear nothing from the world, it's because heaven is working in ways you cannot yet see. And that is where the miracle lives. Thank you for listening. Thank you for opening your heart. May your faith grow stronger in the silence, and may your expectations rise higher than your fears. Everything is already unfolding for you. Now walk in peace and expect the extraordinary.